So the word that struck me as I was praying this morning was sword. And he's come not to bring peace, but the sword. And certainly, of course, this means that, as he's saying here, that mother and father cannot be more to you than Jesus. That he's separating us and saying there will be divisions if we put Jesus first, but he has to be first in our lives. But I was also thinking just in terms of internally, not the external sword, but the internal sword. And how that sword is meant to cut through our souls. And sometimes when our lives are trying to seek Jesus, trying to be giving ourselves all to him, he says, okay, I need to set you free from certain things which are good in order for you to give yourself fully to me. Now note, of course the sword is there to cut us free from mortal sin, from venial sins, from the things that are bad that are leading us away from God. But also, there are things that are good in our lives that God is even saying, these have been gifts in the past, but these things now need to be cut and pruned out of your life so that you can seek me and me alone. What am I thinking about? Sometimes, for instance, Jesus gives us great consolation when we begin our spiritual life in our prayer. And we see this and we experience this as we go to prayer, and in those times of trouble and tribulation, we just find such peace and joy, and as they call them, the warm fuzzies in our prayer. But then as we're getting closer to God, God very often will take that away. He will take that consolation away. Not because we've done anything wrong, but because we've done something right. And he says, okay, I am taking that consolation away because I don't want you to seek prayer for the consolation. I don't want you to seek consolation for the benefit you get. I want you to seek prayer because it's union with me. And in those times, it may look good from the outside, but it's really painful from the inside, because we feel, am I doing something wrong? I feel distant from God. Is God really there? Is he hearing my prayer? And yet in these moments, as we continue to persevere in prayer, in those struggles, through those trying times, that's when we're saying, okay, I'm seeking you for your sake, God, and not for my sake. I'm seeking you because I love you, not because you make me feel good. Oh, baby, baby. I love you. And I'm going to seek and worship and pray to you, oh God. And there's all these things, these images of control that we have that God wants to cut us free from, these illusions of authority, these illusions of our self-image that we have. Thinking, well, I go to daily Mass. I'm a holy person. Or, I'm doing these things for God, and look how successful I am. And God, at some point in our lives, will take that sword and he will cut us. He will cut us from these things. Why? Not because he hates us. Not because he's saying, oh, you're getting too high on your horse, but he's saying, I want you to seek me. I love you so much, and now you've gotten to a point where now I need to move you to the next level. And if you're still clinging to these things, these illusions of control, these illusions of your own success, these illusions of how holy you are, these images that you have of yourself, you're not going to be able to get to truly depth of love of me, where you have to surrender everything and say, I can't do anything. And while that may seem extreme to us, I can't do anything, Jesus himself says that I can't do anything except what the Father is doing. So that was my reflection this morning. The Lord saying, I want to bring the sword. Came not to bring peace, but the sword. And that sword which cuts into our souls, it is painful. And it breaks us. But only so that as Jesus wounds, he can then heal us and draw us deeper into his life, into his love, deeper in intimacy with him, deeper into holiness, so that we can drop everything and cling only to him.